Now, I'm going to say it again. It's going to be a theme this year, I am sure. Labor won this election on lies and handouts. Absolutely true. Yet promised nothing that will fix the real problems that we're still stuck with. For instance, it's sticking with its disastrous green policies. And today there came another warning. What's coming? Wholesale power prices in southern Australia are up. And your bills will probably go up as well, again, as a result. And it could get even worse fast. Spain-type blackouts, like engineers are warning. Because Labor's new MPs in this election, many are from the Labor left, and already the Labor Environment Action Network is demanding even bigger cuts in emissions, a 70% cut target in 10 years. And they want much more green power, which will end in disaster. Engineers, like I say, are already warning this is nuts. But in the Liberal Party, more nuttiness. There are already some on the left of that party are saying, oh, we've got to move more to the left, more like us, and we've got to scrap our promise of nuclear power, which happens to be the one way to cut emissions and still keep on the lights. Well, a lot of Nationals are saying, well, that's going to be crazy, disastrous. Matt Canavan, you saw on the show last night, Nationals leader David Littleproud, former Nationals leader Michael McCormick same today. But no one, I thought, put it better than Liberal Tim Wilson, who actually beat a Teal MP in Goldstein by fighting hard for nuclear power with reason and with passion and facts. And as he said today, he's not going to stop doing it. I tell you, this is great. This is the picture that should have come from the Liberal top in this campaign. Listen.
I'm not really going to get into a lot of the policy discussion right now, but I will make some simple observations. When I was last in Parliament, I spoke favourably, and because in my core sense of believe in the role of nuclear power, not as an end, but as a beginning. We talked about this in our campaign launch. Nuclear power is part of building the future industrial base of our country. If we don't do that, then we are saying either one, we're going back to coal, or we as a nation are going to deindustrialise. That is not a future I am prepared to accept. I am about building out the future so that the next generation can lift their eyes one angle higher, and look further into the horizon. And that's why it's so important to have honest conversations with the Australian people, to be part of building out that future, and to make the case, not just simply put something out there and see whether it's going to be tested. We must fight vehemently, passionately, with energy, with courage, because it comes from who we are and what we believe and the policy we want to take forward to build out an alternative vision for this nation.
How could you not win an argument if you put it like that? Joining me is Rowan Dean, Editor-in-Chief of Spectator Australia and presenter on Outsiders on Sky News every Sunday at 9 a.m. and host of his own show on Fridays at 7 p.m. Rowan, come on, here you got Liberals now saying, oh, we've got to move to the left, we've got to drop our nuclear promise. Why don't you instead try arguing like that?
Yeah, I thought Tim Wilson sounded terrific there, and we didn't hear any of that sort of passion or that sort of basing what you're saying in your core beliefs at any point throughout the election campaign. As you were saying earlier with your guests, that so many people throughout this campaign, going back to before the campaign, were going, where is the great sort of conservative thinking? Where is the Liberal Party of old? Where are the big ideas, the big policies that are there to be an alternative, an opposition to the Labor Party? And the reality is we were duped. And I think many people are feeling quite angry and sore at the moment because they were duped after The Voice. After The Voice, which was a brilliant victory, and it was won purely on traditional conservative lines. We don't divide by race. We don't believe in these extra sort of bureaucratic entities. We believe in the individual rather than the collective, and so on and so on. Those are core conservative beliefs. And unless every policy you put forward, Andrew, can be related directly back to one of those core conservative beliefs, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, smaller government, free markets, and so on, you can never win the argument. And this idea that the Liberals need to go further to the left, well, if that's the case, I'm sorry, split the Liberal Party down the middle, push the bedwetters off to the left, and they can form their own bedwetting party. But we need to have in this country a political party that represents what I believe to be the two-thirds majority of this country, who believe in traditional conservative Australian values: freedom of expression, fair go, fair income go for everybody, smaller government, the individual over the collective.